Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at Dogecoin here really quick, see what's going on. Got a lot of requests from this one, and I can see why, of course, because it is maintaining a ascending trend line, as well as obviously a nice increase in price here today. So we'll take a look at that and much more, of course. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. I really hope you can learn something here today, of course. If so, comment below, let me know if you did. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below. I have a trading community, academy, and signal group, kind of an all-in-one there, essentially to help you become a better trader. Check that out once again, CryptoCache.tech. So here's a couple of things we want to kind of open up with and start with the obvious. First of all, we're holding above 50 on the RSI. That's fantastic. This little support channel here, about 14 cents, is holding strong. So I do feel as if 14 cents could and should likely be the bottom here, based on how well it's performing when it comes down to that level. Okay. So again, we held strong for 3 days, and today just turned right back around. Taking a look at the volume, there's a decent amount of volume today compared to yesterday. Of course, yesterday being a Saturday, you can expect low volume, but in general, for the most part, we see a lot of volume so far on a Sunday, which is a good sign too, kind of reaffirming obviously the price increasing from here. We did get a bounce off of the MACD there, so instead of a divergence, we got a convergence, so to speak. So really all good things here in this sense, minus the fact that the 200-day SMA is going to work as a resistance level right around 18 cents if we get there soon. Again, if we get there soon, hard to say specifically, but cool thing is that this type of pattern here, if you see this, I drew this trend line previously for these two time frames. It's come down to test one time there and again here as well and turn around. So once again, when you see that kind of thing happen, oftentimes it can be synonymous with the 200-day set moving average on the 4 hour, which we'll look at next. And you can see this type of ascending pattern that occurs. And when you see that, the likelihood of it continuing, obviously until it doesn't, is very high. So truth be told, you want to kind of honor this trend line because it has proven this being a third touch or a third official test, and a rejection to the upside is a very, very good sign. That kind of reaffirms this trend line is actually holding and working as a trend line. Because again, if you just touch on 2 points for a trend line, it's not really much of a trend line. It's kind of just a couple of lines. But when you actually have a trend line that hits 3 or more times, that kind of reaffirms the fact that the price is unwilling to go lower than that current point. And once again, that's 50 on the RSI holding as well here at this price point of 14 cents or higher. So all good things. I would say 14 cents should effectively be the lower point here because we are once again still making higher lows in the big picture. So all good stuff there in that sense. One day looks fantastic. Let's see what the 4 hour tells us here with the transitionary time frame. If we look at the 50-day set moving average, we can see the price is holding above the 50 and the 200. And here's kind of what I was referring to earlier. It's not perfect, but it does kind of get the point across where you see the 200 working its way up. That's fairly synonymous with this trend line here. So in general, you can kind of expect the 200 on the 4 hour to effectively move concurrent with an ascending trend line. Obviously depends on its history, but in general, it's high time that Dogecoin is making a recovery, right? So the last 200 time frames, so to speak, is basically telling us that, hey, the price should be averaging itself up right now. And it is. So that's a good sign. Looking at the 4 hour, we're back up above 50 on the RSI, which is great. No longer considered resistance. So as granted, we can kind of continue to go sideways from here. We should be able to maintain that. We've also got a MACD convergence here on the 4 hour, which obviously occurred yesterday, but we still want to be mindful of the fact that that is shifting that momentum from bearish to bullish. And that could translate on the 1 hour too. Let's see actually if the Ichimoku cloud, we have a breakthrough, which we do. Because oftentimes when you see that convergence on the MACD, it occurs roughly the same time as the 1 hour Ichimoku cloud breakthrough. And a lot of times that breakthrough is what you want to be able to comfortably take entry. Because if you see here, you see how the price broke above, comes back down to test this lower, or basically the upper lead on the cloud, and then continues higher. So that's essentially how it works with a lot of all-time highs too. When you break an all-time high, you come back down to test that previous resistance level as a support and establish it as a support and use it to bounce. That's exactly what just happened here. This is a Ichimoku cloud bounce and the price continues higher. So Dogecoin is actually performing quite nicely. There's literally nothing I see here that's adverse. Let's go ahead and check TD sequential though and see. We came up to a 7, got a reset, and now we're back up to a 3. So we do have potential of a much larger continuation of the upside here. Now, granted, is that going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. Let's kind of see if we're outside of standard deviation, because if you don't have enough volume to kind of back that up, then that could be a different story. If we take a look at the volume weighted average price, there is lower volume of the weekend, right? So even though today is a higher volume day than yesterday, in general, the last 24 hours, we've seen less volume. And in turn, that standard deviation, these lines are tighter. And in that sense, that's exactly the reason why the price is pulling back, because it's staying within that standard deviation, helping us, kind of contract the price action to work within the amount of volume. So we basically just, for lack of better terms, we need more volume to be able to move higher, but it makes perfect sense as to why we're seeing a pullback right now. Okay, again, just something to look at, something to pay attention to, but in general, I'd say big picture, Dogecoin's doing quite well. We should expect to continue higher, to continue to maintain this trend line. Will it blast through the stratosphere today or tomorrow? I would say who knows. Depends on, if Elon Musk wants to send out a tweet or not. Honestly, it has a lot to do with it too. So pay attention to the fundamentals, but in general, Dogecoin, it's Dogecoin. So I would recommend obviously investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the standard ones as a primary. Most of your portfolio should be that. But again, small portion of whatever you want to invest in with Dogecoin is up to you. That being said, I hope you learned something here today. If so, comment below, let me know. If not, that's okay too. I greatly appreciate you watching. And if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.